Alright, moving on to our next Patreon request, and this one comes from Christopher Rosa, who asked me to do a reboot pitch for Hailey's on It. As always, if you guys would like to have a Patreon request done, just hit the link below, head on over to my Patreon, where you guys can hit the third tier that will allow you access to do so, as well as check out all the other stuff on the other tiers. But anyway, so other than that, let's get started with the video. So, yeah, Hailey's on It. As you guys are probably aware, it's funny because Rosa also asked me to do a review for Hailey's on It, which I didn't really give the best view. I didn't really give the best intentions, and now it is my understanding that it has been canceled. Because, yeah, I kind of figured it would. Not because, like, not only because, you know, Disney really didn't market this very well. In fact, they have been very cruel to their TV animation department, and that's one of the factors. But also, like, everyone who saw the warning signs from Star Versus for the will they won't they for the entire show saw this, like, and went, and had red flags. So I'm just gonna kind of go through and talk about, like, what I'd like to do for, like, if I could reboot this show, like, if I could reboot Hailey's on It. Because the premise does sound really cool. Like, completing all these tasks to save the future. Yeah. It does sound really cool. It's just, you know, the whole, oh, I gotta kiss my best friend to save the world, no pressure. Will they, won't they, will they, won't they? Ugh. That when that came up in the trailer, I'm gonna say this, when that came up in the trailer, I literally was like, hard pass on this show. I'm not doing the Star Versus taught me better. Like, I learned from my, you know, fool me once and all that. But anyway. So, let's get started with the video. So, first thing I would do, let's actually just get this out of the way right now. Let's get this out of the way right now. What to do with, what was her friend's name? Scott, right? It was Scott something, I don't fucking care. Yeah, that would be like, it would be a will they won't they, but only for, like, it wouldn't be like season 1 finale, because that's where they left off before it got canceled. What I would like to have done is, like, maybe the episode opener. Like, it has to be the, like, it's an hour-long premiere, it's a two-parter, and at the end of the two-parter, she kisses him. Now they're a couple, or trying to figure out how to be a couple after being friends for so long. That could be a cool undercurrent that I wish more writers would take, rather than, you know, tease us and then be like, oh, go fanfiction writers, go do our job for us, go forth and you know, do all the things we couldn't do because we weren't talented enough to keep a couple, you know, interesting. So yeah, at the end of the two-parter, they hook up, but the running thing would be, like, they're trying to figure out themselves, they're trying to figure out being friends as well as love, you know, if they can be, like, you know, boyfriend, girlfriend, and also deal with all this pressure of, you know, not just, you know, normal life, but also dealing with this whole thing of, oh, robots are coming from the future to kill us, like in Terminator. So that's what I think would make it more interesting, is that you have the subplot of the undercurrent of, you know, it's not the will they, won't they, it's more like, how are they going to get out of this situation, and now they have to have all this other stuff come, like, besieging them, and coming together, both romantically and as friends, is helping them move through this. I'm not gonna say, like, oh, the show needs to be uber dark. No, absolutely not. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, it's a lot of pressure to put on one person who, from the few episodes I saw of the show, it's gonna be a lot of pressure to put on one kid, and maybe kind of play with the whole thing of, like, the only characters who really played with PTSD were, like, Anne and Luz. So I'm not saying put PTSD in this show, but maybe say, like, the pressure's really getting to her, and Scott's trying to be both friend and boyfriend, and he does, like, even he's like, I don't know what to do in this situation. Have a meme, something like that. As for, like, the rest of the show, I think the other undercurrent should be that, give a reason for the like, there was never a reason, as far, again, I only saw so many episodes because I was just not interested. I think the other thing I would like to do with this show is maybe give like a reason, like why these tasks in this notebook had to be complete to alter the timeline as it was. Maybe give like, and I'm sure again, maybe they did in season 1, or they talked about it, or maybe they were going to go more in depth in season 2. I don't know. So I think what I would like to do in this show is kind of give a reason, like, okay, why do I have to win a sandcastle competition to save the universe, or why do I have to eat this giant burger to save the universe? Like, maybe have it that every little, it's kind of like maybe play with the butterfly effect of time, where you alter one thing and it just kind of alters it in the future in a different way. So I'm trying to make sense of it. Like, that's I know it sounds weird, like we're using the butterfly effect, but maybe that's the thing where it's like, if these things are done, it alters Hailey's future self to, you know, screw up the machines that were hunting her in the future. So maybe, you know, play with that idea, where it's this whole thing of every time you alter my past, it betters my future to help, you know, and it alters the history that the machines have on me. Like, her future self comes in and is like, hey, you know, I know this sounds all like menial stuff, like I know you should be like John Connoring it up or something, but here's the thing, you really don't need to do that, because every time you alter, it's like creating an alternate time. Every time the machines think they get Hailey in the future, the timeline is altered because of what Hailey did. It's just a minor alteration in time, and those little cracks in time, you know, are creating shockwaves in the future, so the machines in the future really don't understand how to, like, comprehend it. It's like, it's almost like using, like, Hailey from the future is using her past self as a weapon to, you know, alter the aspects of time to better herself. I don't know. I'm making too much thought. I'm putting way too much fucking thought in this canceled show. That's the best way. That's the best thing I got for this. Really, like, that's. I don't know what the fuck you want me to do. Yeah. Let me just get something in. Always hydrate, boys and girls. Anyway. So that's really all I got. Also, would I keep the annoying sidekick? Yeah, you kind of need to sell merchandise, and you need someone to have Hailey play off. But if you got Scott here as the boyfriend, maybe not have the main maybe not have so much focus, but you do need that robot for help. Anyway, so that's really all I got for a Hailey's On It reboot. Don't screw around with the shipping stuff, and actually give reason why these list of menial shit have to have meaning. Anyway, and maybe they did, maybe they explained it, I don't fucking care. Anyway, so once again, I'd like to thank Christopher Rosa for this Patreon request, and as always, if you'd like to have a Patreon request done, just hit the link below, head on over to my Patreon, you guys can hit the 3rd tier, that'll allow you access to do so. But other than that, hope you all enjoy this. I'm Mr. Multiverse, I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.